Should have started.
Hey, did you get that? Did you get
Yeah.
Hey, I'm leaving that in the video, bro. I'm leaving that in. Well, I know.
All right, here we go.
Or I need to send you. Hey, where's my camera? Hey, Pete, yep. Hey, Pete. As soon as we said that, you said put me on game. I don't. Oh, bro. Welcome back in to Gumball Sports Machine. This is a show where we love, we laugh, we hug, we cry, and we smile. But I think a little bit of crying is going to be done today, as we have gained a new member to the Cancun Club. Yes, I am the host of the Cancun Club, and we're bringing in members every day, and we just added a few more. So, before that, as always, never alone. It's a group that does this show, and first and foremost, we got Unk, we got OG, we got Beantown, Tone,
What's happening, man?
Yeah,
what's going? Hold on, I don't like the way you introduced the show with Cancun Club and then had me join. I'm not feeling that vibe.
There is a meaning for it, brother.
Yeah, cut that out.
And the next member who has already joined Cancun Club, he is David Largo. He's D'Lo. He is co-host D'Lo. David Largo, how are you feeling today, brother?
Hey, feeling pretty good, man. I got that final exam in front of me,
Attaboy. Look at that. Smart man. I heard you struggling
Yeah.
in the background. It's okay. So,
No, I'm doing pretty good, man.
oh, all right.
Taking care of the business.
I don't have any more jokes because you're actually doing well. So this is awkward. And lastly, every Sunday he joins the show, and he is also the newest member of my favorite club, the Cancun Club. We have Kyson. Kyson, how are you doing, brother?
Man, hold on. First off, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jamal, man. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I'm not okay. Yes, I want to cry. But, you know what I'm saying? I'm on the pod. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really gonna say too much about the game. The game. But let's just let Jamal know that there's levels to this Cancun shit. You know what I'm saying? Because although the Houston Rockets have unfortunately been eliminated from the playoffs, our future is very, 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 very bright. So I can hang my hat to that.
We're gonna talk about that.
Hey,
We're
on the
definitely
bright
gonna talk
side,
about
at least Kyson isn't ducking like Kev is,
that. Yeah, Kev, nowhere to be found today.
Kev ducking today.
Oh no, nah. Oh, we got to call this brother out. And on another note, some of y'all are actually in Cancun, and other people are just vacationing. I'm not gonna go into depth with that, but
really?
normally you only go to Cancun when you leave in the playoffs.
All right, well, let's get to our first
Yeah, y'all
segment
in
of the show. Yeah,
y'all like
this,
Singapore or something. Y'all in like some
oh,
other
all right.
country.
Well, okay. Well,
Wow.
I was trying to be a good host. I was trying to, well, I'm not even talking about the show. I'm talking about the Cancun Club. I was trying to be a good host. I was trying to welcome you. David has been here for a little while, and
Whoa, whoa,
Tyson,
whoa.
you're just
A
joining.
good host, a good host, a good host just would have left the Cancun. You know what I'm saying? You just would have left that, in the pocket of your left pocket. You know what I'm saying? That's what good hosts do.
Hmm.
But I mean,
All right.
who would I know? What would I know? You know what I'm saying? I'm just
And I just want
just
to
here.
remind everyone that every show he ends with peace, love, and positivity, and we
Whoa!
come
I was
off
being positive. I was being positive.
straight
I was
negativity.
Oh,
welcoming the newest member to Cancun. I'm now a rude host would be like, yeah, go find somewhere else to go vacation at. No, you are more than welcome to join me here in
How
Cancun.
did you get to Cancun though?
All right, let's get out to our first segment of the show. It's called Something to Chew On. I hate all of you. All right, Something to Chew On, our first segment that we do every show, and we're bringing it back. Let's go. The Lakers. The Lakers lost to the Minnesota Timberwolves in 5 games. And in game 5, LeBron did sprain his MCL. He would not have been able to play in game 6. A sprained MCL is about a 6-week injury, 4 to 6 week injury. And especially somebody, and I'm not even trying to be funny, but of LeBron's age, 40 years old, might even take more than 6 weeks. So with not a major injury, but a pretty big injury like this, Tone, could an injury like this lead LeBron to retire?
To retire? No, not retire. But I agree. I agree with what you said. If he was truly injured, he wouldn't have played the next game, and the series would have been over, like it was.
Oh yeah, I agree. D'Lo, what you think? Could an injury like this lead LeBron to retire?
Nah, not retire. And I don't know if y'all have been paying attention, but Shams is saying that he is um coming back for another year. So
Oh, I did not see
um
that.
what if Shams is true or not, I don't know. Only LeBron knows. I'm sure that he hasn't talked with anybody. But that's just what Shams said. So we'll see what happens. But I don't think that this injury is enough to cause him to walk away.
Kaisa, could an injury like this, one of those injuries that can take a month, 2 months like this, could this lead to LeBron retiring after the season?
yeah, no, I don't really see it just because LeBron is, really strategic type of guy. He wants to go out with a bang. He wants to go out with a farewell tour, make it a big deal. He's not just gonna go out like that. Like I just don't see it. And like you said, it's a minor injury, just ain't nothing. He's gonna have plenty of time to rest up and recoup for the next season. And the real question is next season is his last. We haven't heard nothing about that yet. Actually, right now he's speculating if he's gonna play at all. But I think he plays. I think he has at least one, maybe 2 more years left in the tank.
Yeah, we talked about it. When was it? When were we on Wednesday? Um, I I think LeBron should retire, but that's another conversation because even that conversation took like 45 minutes. But injury like this, I'd imagine you have to go through rehab. You don't have to get surgery, but it's just the pain that you have to go through and rehab and recover. And at 40 years old, there's only so much of it that you want to do anymore. So I think it could. But truthfully, I don't think it's gonna lead him to retirement. And I think he should retire this year. I don't know if he will.
Real quick to the retirement, LeBron wants that 45. It'll be the only untouchable mark, like Mike's 6 for 6, like Bill Russell's 11 rings, like Wilt's 100 points. 45,000 marks something that's untouchable.
I think, in my opinion, I think that's what he's done already at 40,000. I think he's untouchable, in my opinion. Okay, let's move on. The Phoenix Suns. I got to talk about my boys. They went out and hired a new general manager.
All right, gotta go.
See there you go. They went out and hired a new general manager, and Brian Gregory, who was already in the organization. His previous title was Director of Player Programming. The Suns, Matt Ishbia just elevated him. James Jones is still a part of the organization. I think his role now is senior advisor. But Brian Gregory has now taken over the president of basketball operations as well as the general manager job for the Suns. D'Lo, was this a good move for the Suns to stay inside the organization, or should they have gone outside to bring in, just a new face?
They screwed either way. I don't think anything really helps them, to be honest. They just have so much to figure out. And I don't know if a new mind is really going to help them solve that. I thought James Jones was, doing a pretty good job until new ownership came in and they forced his hand into Bradley Beal. So, I mean, I'm not saying that it's not a bad move. I just don't know if it's also considered a good move either. But inside or out, I don't know what would help Phoenix get out of the hole that they're in.
Tom, what do you think? Should they have gone outside the organization, or do you think they did the right move by just moving somebody up inside the organization already?
No, I think you stay inside of the organization. There's got to be some level of comfort, especially if they're going to keep Devin Booker. Um, I do kind of agree with Lowe that you guys are going to likely be in a slump for a little while. But in order to keep everyone comfortable, you have to make some changes, and it's probably best that they happen within.
Kyson, what do you think? Should they have gone outside of the organization, bringing a new face, or do you like the move of them just promoting somebody into that job?
Um, this is turning into a Jerry Jones situation, right? Because at the end of the day, James Jones didn't trade for KD. The owner did. So it, this just tells me it really don't matter who's the GM. Matt Ishbia is involved and he wants to win a championship and he's gonna continue to make the moves to try and make that happen. Whether they happen or not, you know, he's not gonna really take the blame for it, but he's gonna definitely try to make the necessary moves and necessary you know, acquisitions to keep you guys afloat. As Tone said, y'all will be in kind of this mediocrity area for a while in terms of 6 seed, 7 seed, 8 seed, competing for play in just because of the return you're going to get for Katie might not be what you expect. And Bradley Bill, if you can eventually get him off, it'll probably be for free. So just things like that. Uh, that's where you're projected, regardless of who's the GM or not. With that being said, though, this just shows me that Matt Ishbia is taking full charge. Like he really wants this, and he's gonna put it all on himself.
Yeah, Kyson, you read my mind. I was having a conversation the other day, and um, with it's very, very Jerry Jones esque of what's going on inside the Suns organization, and it's terrifying. It is terrifying. Um, I personally, I think they should have went outside the organization, bring in a new face, to change everything and give. And I wish Matt would give all the power. Hey, you are going to make all the basketball decisions. I don't want any influence on it. And I just don't think that's going to happen. It's unfortunate, but we're gonna see what ends up happening. And I couldn't even tell you honestly what I feel about Brian Gregory, but we will get a little bit into that later in the show. San Antonio Spurs head coach Greg Popovich retires as an NBA head coach. Believe he's moving into a front office role. So I think he's still with the organization, but as a head coach, he is done. He won 5 championships, all with the San Antonio Spurs. Kyson, is he the GOAT head coach?
I would say so. One thing that people gotta understand is that the demographic that watch the NBA, we haven't really seen. We got a glimpse of Phil Jackson, a glimpse of Bob Knight, you know, um, Iverson's old coach back in Doug
Larry
Collins.
Brown.
Yeah, Larry Brown. There we go. Larry Brown. Like we got glimpses of those types of coaches, but we've seen Popovich literally from start to finish. In terms of, winning championships with different rosters, uh, just keeping the Spurs afloat. And he just did what he was supposed to do. He only had two, maybe three bad years outside of the, tanking for Wemby and things of that nature. So if you look at the modern day coaches and what's left, and for what the NBA fans are seeing day in and day out, I would say he's hands down the GOAT coach, just because um, those coaches above him when wins, they're playing way back in the 70s and the 80s, and we just didn't. I just think we didn't get a good grasp of the game back then versus now, and we've seen Popovich be the the head coach since we've started watching basketball. So yeah, I would put him as the GOAT head coach.
That's interesting. Tone, do you agree with Kyson, or is there somebody else you have in mind?
It'd be hard to argue. The only person I would say is Phil, but Phil had Mike, so it's and then he had Kobe and Shaq, so it's kind of hard to tell how great Phil was. Um, that's the real old school guys might even say like Red Auerbach type of, but again of our generation, it has been um it's the San Antonio Spurs is all we've known as being like the organization to follow. And I actually think that modern day basketball, what we're seeing is the foundation that Pop built. You're seeing a lot of more team friendly versus just superstar friendly teams, and I think that was originated with Pop. Um, he made sacrifice a thing. He made you could see it in that they enjoyed playing basketball together, no matter who was the leading scorer, which is dope. And that I think that speaks to more of who Pop was as a man than a coach.
D'Lo, what do you think?
It's up for debate for sure. I think there's really only two guys that when you ask a question like that, are in the discussion, and I think it's Pop and Phil. Um, and it's kind of, in my opinion, kind of similar to what people do with the GOAT debate, right? Do you like the longevity of Pop? I mean, he's the winningest coach ever. Or do you like the real short-term success like Phil had with that stretch where he was just winning championships left and right, right? It kind of just depends what you prefer. I personally would have him as the greatest coach only because I've witnessed what he's done. I can't say that for Phil. I just have to look back and see. But um, yeah, it's definitely a debate for sure. But I think that I've got Pop. So
Hey, real quick, I think Pop's most impressive thing he did was take the Spurs team back in 2018 to the playoffs, and Kawhi only played
Yep.
about 10 games. In the West at that. Granted they were 7, 8 seed, they got swept by Golden State first round, but they had no business being there in the first place with that roster without Kawhi, their star player. So you got to give them his flowers where they're due.
Yeah, he's a wizard. Greg Popovich is a wizard. He's an amazing basketball coach.
And his coaching tree is
Lastly,
insane.
huh?
I said his coaching tree is insane.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Pop is a legend. Lastly, speaking of legends, I gotta throw this in there. Larry Fitzgerald is set to hit the Hall of Fame ballot for the first time this upcoming ballot. So not the ballot that's here right now, but the upcoming ballot. You know what, Tone? I should Larry Fitzgerald get in on the first ballot?
Definitely. And I might even be biased, but I've always been a fan of Fitz, man. I think he holds himself, accountable on and off the field. He just seems like a stand-up dude. The way he even spoke in press conferences and stuff like that, interviews after the games. he's the type of person that I'm sure any quarterback would have loved to have on their team. I always wish that he became a Patriot. I always did. So congratulations to that man and well deserved.
Kyson, should Larry Fitzgerald get in to the Hall of Fame on the first ballot?
Absolutely. You know, he's what you want a receiver to be in all aspects. Doesn't drop balls, um, runs every route, hard 100%. Um, what? I know
I
y'all
was
was gonna
gonna
I
say
hate
that.
say
Tony. I
anything.
hate Tony. I
I
saw
looked at Tone's face, and I'm like, oh my lord.
Pause.
That part. That part.
Man, no, that's crazy, man. It's 2025. But no, seriously, on a serious note, yeah, he's everything you want a receiver to be. Um, Blocks his tail off, um, catches everything, runs every route. Not a diva. You just want the receivers that you don't really hear the stories about him complaining about doing this and that and the third. He did everything you asked of him. Um, and I don't want to spark up an old debate, but when you compare him and Marv, Larry, no one expected Larry to be a top five receiver ever. You know, so his expectations versus what he's done, he undoubtedly warrants a first ballot Hall of Fame selection for sure.
David Largo. Should Larry Fitzgerald get in on the first ballot?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's it. What do you want me to
Upset.
say? I mean, the guy's
Upset.
a top five receiver of all time, and I don't think that that's debatable. So, I mean, there's nothing really that I could say that anyone else is not already thinking. So, yeah, we move on.
Yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I could talk for hours and hours about Larry Fitzgerald, but
Oh, we
Larry
know.
Fitzgerald, if you didn't know, is my favorite. What do you say?
So, oh, we know.
I am proud of it, brother. Because Larry Fitzgerald is my favorite athlete I've ever watched. He's my favorite athlete. Yeah, obviously, he played for my favorite team. So, and he is, in my opinion, a top 3 receiver of all time. Um, and just and that's just what he did on the field. Larry Fitzgerald is just an amazing human being. I met him once when I was really, really young. And he was just amazing. Yeah, and again, he's one of the greatest receivers of all time. He did what he was supposed to. He never complained. Whatever the case may be, he was amazing. And we do share the same birthday, so I did also want to put that up.
God damn it.
I didn't want to share that information. So
Virgo,
oh yeah,
fair.
He doesn't remember you.
yeah. All right. Well, hopefully, when I meet him again, I'm gonna tell him I have this somebody that actually, you know what, you two are the same age. I think you get along very well.
Man, you can catch Larry in Scottsdale. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
he beat her.
All right, that was something to chew on. Our first segment of the show. We go around the hot sports topics, really quick, and see what everybody thinks. Now, let's get to the game of. I guess it wasn't really too much of a game down the stretch, but the game 7, the second game 7 we've had so far in this first round, and Golden State and Houston. Golden State does end up beating the Houston Rockets 103-89. Buddy Hield had the game of his life. He had 33 points on the night, hit 9 3-pointers. And Houston just couldn't get it going offensively. They didn't have much going. They couldn't put the ball in the basket when they needed to, and so it cost them at the end. And Steph was amazing in the fourth quarter. He had 3 points going into the half, and he ended with, let me check. He ended with 22. So he had 19 points in the second half. He was fantastic in the second half. Kyson, I'm going to start with you. What happened? You came back 3-1. You were down 3-1. You go back to Houston, you go win. You go to Golden State in game 6 in another elimination game. You blow them out in that game. Game 7, not as much happened. What happened to your team, man? What happened to the Rockets?
Yeah, I just think they abandoned everything they did to get to game 7. What worked in game 5 and game 6 was we were in attack mode from the jump ball, and we didn't let up no matter how many runs they had or whatever the case was. We just kept the gas on the pedal, foot on the pedal, and that's what got us there. But then it seems like tonight that they just, I don't know if it was the nerves or they just were just ready to go home, but it just really didn't seem like they had the sense of urgency that they had in the previous games. And the thing about it is we can talk about the offense, but it starts on defense. Buddy Hield had 33, and that's simply because Steph Curry. We're throwing everything in the kitchen sink at Steph Curry, and we're letting dudes beat us. And unfortunately, Buddy Hield's a great 3-point shooter. He's streaky, but when he's on, he's on. And so a lot of the 3-pointers he was getting were just he's just sitting there wide open. Because as soon as Curry gets past one defender, we're sending two more. So now it's 3-on-1. Two people are going to be open. If Buddy is one of those dudes, then he's gonna 9 times out of 10 hit an open three, which he did. So kudos to him. But I just think that not only the defense, I think um, on the offensive side, one thing I noticed in Game 5 was Jalen Green. He was aggressive early. He had like quick 4 points, and he didn't. Although he finished with 11, I believe that game or 9, one of the two. It was those 4 points that turned Sengun up, turned Dylan Brooks up, Fred VanVleet up, and they just didn't get that at all from him or anyone. And also, Golden State realized that Fred VanVleet was averaging 27 and 3 in the past 3 games. So they locked down on him. They made sure he wasn't comfortable, wasn't getting those threes. They basically shifted their focus from Jalen Green to Fred VanVleet. And unfortunately, once again, for the fifth time this series, actually six, we can really count 6 time, Jalen Green just did not show up. And one thing that really frustrates me um, is the simple fact that he doesn't want it. Like it's one thing if you 2 for 13 or you 3 for 15, that means, hey man, I'm getting the shots up. They just not falling. But it just seems like he's scared. He doesn't want any part of the offense. He just when they come to me, I'm trying to do something. And if I can't do nothing, then I'm gonna just swing it. And it's like you average 21 points a game, leading scorer on the team on the second seed. And and granted, we're a young team and that and the third, but Jalen Green let us down. It's point blank and simple. And I'm going to end this segment by saying this: John Morant, Giannis, D Book,
No.
KD.
Yep. There you go.
No Book. No, Book is a possibility. Don't. Hey, look,
Who's a
new
possibility?
new GM.
Who's a
He might
possibility?
make that move, man.
New GM, same owner. Yeah, but Book ain't going nowhere.
John Morant,
Book ain't going nowhere.
Giannis, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant. Those are my 4 target options because we just need somebody. We don't need. We just need somebody to get buckets when it matters. We need somebody in the half court, a guard, a wing that can break it down the defense and get it in when the offense gets sticky. Because offense, we have no half court offense. But overall, great year for the Houston Rockets. This is my last time speaking on them for the rest of the year until next season. But great season. We did come short, unfortunately, with the second seed. At the end of the day, second seed came short. Unfortunately, we had a tough matchup. But it's it's hoops. It was great hoops. I'm looking forward to the next season though, for sure.
Tone, what happened to the Rockies, man? What'd you see tonight? What'd you see tonight? Why were they struggling so much?
Sure, you want me to go, man? I'm over here making some good notes. Kyson made some quality comments, so I had to make some notes. Lo, you want to go? Because I got.
I mean, I'll go. I'll keep it short, but um, back when we were predicting this series, I said that I had the Rockets in six. However, after I had said that, I said if this series went to seven, Golden State was going to win. And as soon as Golden State took a 3-1 lead, the series was over. It didn't matter if they forced a game seven or not, because I said the experience of Steph and Jimmy will come into play into game seven and they will win, whether it was at home or not. Um, and that's just what it was. Um, Granted, Buddy Hield had a great game today. And you kind of don't take that into account every game because he's not shooting nine threes well, I mean, he is shooting nine threes, but he's not making nine threes every game, right? So, um, but again, Steph and Jimmy was who I was going to roll with coming into a game seven. So as soon as the Rockets went down 3-1, I had abandoned all hope of them winning this series. Um, Now I'm glad that they forced a game seven so that they could get that experience for next year and the following years upcoming, especially for the young up and coming guard that I think is gonna, I hope, take a huge leap offensively because I think that's where he needs to take it in Amen Thompson because defensively he's fantastic. But if he can find a way to score not just in higher volume, but also more efficiently, he's dangerous. So I think the experience was good for them. But yeah, I mean, uh, I knew this was bound to happen if a game seven was coming.
Yeah, hold on, real quick. When we discussed the predictions, we had an argument about playoff experience and finals appearances, right? And I made a comment saying that I hate when people hang on to finals appearances, right? In terms of the accolade battle, in terms of the overall legacy, when we talking about a players, what he's done, what he hasn't done. I hate when people put a finals appearance in there because that don't matter. At the end of the day, yeah, you got there, you lost. Period. However, Jimmy has been to two finals. He's lost both. That experience and context, like which we're talking about right now, with a young team like Houston and a veteran team like Golden State, that experience was key in this playoff series and most importantly in the playoffs total. I mean, that's what we've been seeing. Same thing with Detroit and Cade and them. You know, Cade, he was giving it his all, and they just fell short just because they're just not there yet. And that's what I feel about the Houston Rockets. Um, Granted, I don't think the Warriors go. They ain't gonna do nothing with the Wolves. I'll tell you that right now. They ain't not doing a damn thing with the Wolves. I don't care because that's a different team. But it goes back to what you're saying, the experience. The Timberwolves have that experience that the Rockets don't, and so it won't be a problem at all for them. But it was for us, unfortunately.
Tone, real quick before you give us your thoughts, um, I just want to go over our picks for this series, and we will be making second round picks at the end of the show. Um, so I had Golden State in 6. Tone had Houston in 7. D'Lo had Houston in 6. Kev had Golden State in 6, and Kyson had Houston in 7. So, um, Kevin and I were the closest in that series. So did want to put that out there. But Tone, what'd you see tonight, man?
Tonight specifically, I seen that the Rockets need to focus on shooting. They need to, call up lethal shooter, call up Seth
Brickley,
Curry. Shoot, matter of fact, call me. Call me. I'll help him out. I got the blick.
See, there you go. See,
Nah,
there
no.
you go.
But on some real rap, on some real stuff, though, you could obviously see that they lacked shooting. There was so many spurts throughout the game where they were wide open, like they had the opportunities, they just weren't cashing out. But overall, for the series, I mean, I think that they look great for the future. They have dynamic players. I think that they need to. I think the major thing is they need to figure out who they want to keep. I think they have kind of a mix up. If you look at Jalen Green, you look at Sengun, there's a confusion on who the guy is. Like there's times when they do almost a Jokic type thing to where they go through Sengun. And so if you're Jalen Green, that's throwing off your rhythm. Unless there's a conversation and there's actual a system drawn around this dynamic, you're losing just your aura for the basketball. You go 3-4 plays without it, and then you get it, and you don't know what to do with it because this is again their first time seeing this type of team in the playoffs. And so I think that's step one is figuring out who's your guy. Step two is relinquishing whoever you Van Vliet, whoever you need to get rid of, because they need to establish a leader. Now, there's a difference in who your guy is, that's the bucket getter, versus who your leader in the locker room is. I think as a leader in the locker room, it's going to be Amin Thompson. I just think he's so young that he doesn't have the voice that he's going to need to have in that locker room right now. So that's going to be a conflict. You would have to bring in like a Kevin Durant who's going to back Amin Thompson for everyone in the locker room to be like, yeah, okay. But what I will say is they have like the beautiful gift of a problem is they have enough in there that it's gonna work its way into a good situation. I love Jabari Smith. A lot of people feel like he's not living up to his potential. I feel like he's growing on time. I feel like next year is going to be his biggest step, and a lot of people are going to go, oh shoot, look at who Jabari is. He needs to play the 3/4. They had him playing the 4/5 when he came in the league. He needs to play the 3/4, play a lot like Lauri Markkanen. That team, if you had Jalen Green at the 1, Amin Thompson at the 2, either Eason at the 3 or Jabari at the 4, or flip-flop them, and a stretch 5, man, I'm scared of that team in the West. I tell you. But my last thing I want to say is that this game in particular reminded me of last night Clippers versus Denver. The Houston Rockets totally focused on removing Steph Curry offensively, that they weren't defending everyone else. And to me, it's the same thing the Clippers did last night. They said, we're not going to allow Jokic to go off, and everyone else went off.
Yeah. I'm going to start by saying there are going to be changes made in the Houston Rockets organization. Now, this was a fantastic year for Houston. This was a really good year. You're the second seed in a really, really strong Western Conference, and you take the Golden State Warriors, with one of the best players of all time, one of the best playoff performers in recent memory, and you take them to 7 games after being down 3-1. This is encouraging. But there will be changes made in the Houston Rockets organization, starting with me by saying this. Jalen Green has played his last game in a Houston Rockets uniform. I don't know where he might go. He might go to Phoenix. He might go to Milwaukee. He might go to Memphis, like Kyson said. To that point, Jalen Green has played his last game in a Houston Rockets uniform. Jabari Smith might have played his last game in a Houston Rockets uniform. And Alperen Sengun is very good. He's very good. Who they need to build around is wearing number 1 with the HOU on his chest. Amen Thompson is going to be one of the best players, not only on the Rockets, but in the NBA. Because if you give Amen Thompson a decent handle, if he works on his handle and gets a decent handle, and he gets a decent jump shot. Right now, he's shooting 27% from 3 in his career. If Amen Thompson shoots 35% from the 3, and he has a decent ball handling, he will be one of the best point guards in the association. That's how much confidence I have in Amen Thompson. That's who you need to be building around. But again, changes will be made. Fred VanVleet can't be taking as many shots as he is. Just can't. Can't be taking as many shots as he is. Because first 2 games, he went like 4 for 26 from 3. It was awful. Fred VanVleet is good, but he should be more in that Buddy Hield role. He shouldn't be taking 15 threes a game and 27 or 25 shots or whatever it is. Amen Thompson will be the guy that they build around because he is fantastic. And once he develops into a very a complete player, he's going to be a problem. More than he already is. But Golden State just showed their muscle today. They showed how good they are. Um, they showed their experience. Draymond Green was very good today. Draymond Green and Kevon Looney did a masterclass defensively on Elpin Şengün. Jalen Green was quiet again. Amen Thompson, he got hurt in the third quarter. They kept saying that it was off this layup. It was before that because I think he was guarding Steph Curry and I think he took a wrong step. I don't know what it was, something in his calf, and he got hurt. And then that's when they started talking about it. He got hurt in the third quarter, which was unfortunate because he is really, really fun to watch. Aside from that, though, it's Amen Thompson is going to be special. He's going to be special. And we're going to talk about Golden State. We're going to talk about that second round series between Golden State and Minnesota here in a few minutes. But
Hey, real quick, real quick. I like everything y'all said. Um, to Tone, what Tone said, um, I wouldn't, I wouldn't count Jalen Green all the way out. Because this is what we think as fans and as spectators of the game. This is what we think. The front office can think he's the best thing walking. He just had a bad series. Objectively, I don't know how you can look at this series and say that, but believe me or not, there are some guys in the front office that are really rooting for Jalen. They want to keep him. But if the right deal comes, then I think he's the main attraction in that deal because he's a good player. I mean,
he is.
he's a good player. He's just his ball handle, he doesn't have much of ball handling skills. He doesn't really have a bag. He doesn't have a go-to move. He doesn't have uh, a direction in his game. His game has no type of path.
He
None.
relies too much on his athleticism. I
Way
think
too
to your
much.
point.
That's the only thing you
Yeah.
can really bank on
Yeah.
offense and defense, his athleticism. Because even on defense, yeah, he gives the effort. That's one thing you can commend him for. He gives the effort, but he's just not skilled on the defensive side. Doesn't have the body, the wingspan to do it. He's just very, very fast and can jump high.
I don't
So
I don't think the Houston Rockets should trade him, but he has the friendliest contract, so it makes sense.
exactly,
Well, that's
exactly.
the thing. That's the thing about Jalen Green and what the Rockets did with Jalen Green. They made his contract. How do I put this into words? They made his contract able so that they could easily trade him because he's a good player. But nobody's talking about how his contract. You know what I'm saying? Not like Bradley Beal or not like Damian Lillard or guys like that.
Or better
But
yet, dudes in
real
his
quick,
class, Cade. Cade got paid 50 in the
yeah,
same year.
yeah, but
And
he's earning every single penny from that contract right now.
yeah, he took a huge leap, but that's still a risk you took in giving him that. Jalen
Yeah,
Green was second pick in the same draft, and you give him 15 million less. I mean that basic, and he accepted it. At the end of the day, he as a player, he accepted it. So that I think he understands, and the organization understands where he's at as a player, and he just not meeting the expectations. But Amon Thompson, 100%. He's the guy. Segun, you do. I think, in my personal opinion, y'all see the jersey. Y'all see the jersey. I think yes, you surround them. Segun and Amon. Those two are
that's the duo in Houston.
untouchable.
Yeah.
Untouchable. Those two, and then shooters, 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 shooters. We might not even need, you know, to be realistic, we might not even get KD. We might not even get none of the guys I named. That's my wish list. If we don't, the least you could do, surround us with shooters. Shooters. I'm talking about actual
They
ones,
almost
not the
have too
ones
much defense.
Yeah, it's a lot.
that's a
It's
such thing.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of pieces on that team that could be traded. But real quick before we move on, this is kind of crazy. Kobe LA 24. I think that's he's saying that first of all, right. If you're telling me right now that Curry's better than Braun, I have no argument. I have no argument. All time, that's a different conversation. And then he said the Lakers should pay Braun 50 mil to leave already. Bad divorce. He can keep his son also.
I mean,
One more one more
it,
thing before we
the,
get off this Houston talk. I just want to say that if he can hit the three ball at a consistent clip, I think that's what opens his offensive game. It allows him to get to the rim a whole hell of a lot easier, to use that athleticism that was so raved about. That's why he was the number two pick, right? If he can develop a three ball, and you send it with a man, if he can shoot around 35 or a little higher than that, he would be dangerous. He doesn't have to have a handle at that point. He could get a little pump fake, 1, 2 dribbles, and jump with anybody, right? Um, I think that's the key that he's missing.
Yeah, it's a man. I think is going to be one. I think he can. I think he has SGA type potential, in my opinion. I think he's that special. I think he
I
has
think
SGA type potential. But
I think Jalen Green is peaked. I think this is who Jalen Green is. He's already in year 4, going on to year 5. This is who he is, man. Like he's not going to develop any better than this. The only thing he needs right now is volume. He just needs to go and do it. Okay? Like just because you're struggling doesn't mean stop shooting. Like just because you're not getting past Stephen Curry of all defenders, you're not getting by him on the first move. Try again. Like I just really think with him, it's a mindset thing. If he can believe in himself to just go, then the sky's the limit. But he's in his own head, and right now he thinks he sucks, honestly. And
yeah,
that's your confidence is everything in basketball.
yeah, confident. Yeah, confidence is huge. And lastly, real quick, hey, I'm not going. If this is, they're saying Bronny made 50 mil off jersey sales. If this is true, hey Bronny, let me hold a few dollars. Let me hold a few dollars, brother. Let's move on. There's another game today. The second round actually started today. And again, the last segment of the show will be us making our picks for the series. But the Cavs and Pacers played today in Cleveland, played game 1. And the Pacers came out and absolutely stunned the Cavaliers at home, a team that was 34-7 at home. They just Andrew Nemhard was fantastic. Tyrese Halliburton was amazing on both ends of the floor. He was very, very, very good defensively. Pascal Siakam had 17. He was good. Miles Turner was, pretty good. But this team is just so well put together. Donovan Mitchell, he wasn't very good. If you ask me, his plus minus was a minus 19. He had 33 points, but not very good shooting. He shot 1 of 11 from 3. He wasn't very good. Evan Mobley, he had 20 points. He was all right. Ty Jerome did his thing. They just could not get a stop against the Pacers. The Pacers pretty much did whatever they wanted to against that defense, and it showed. The final score was 121-12 in game 1, so the Pacers do take a 1-0 lead on the Cavs. Tone, would you see from the game today, man? First game of the second round. Pacers go into Cleveland, stunned the Cavaliers in game 1. They were up by double digits a lot of the game. They were up by double digits. And so they did end up closing out that game in Cleveland. So they did their job already. They went out and secured a home court advantage. So, Tone, what'd you think, man? What'd you see?
My initial thought was, hold on, we starting the second round before the first round's over? That was my initial thought, if I'm being honest. But then I realized the time difference, and that's the East Coast game and then the West Coast game. So I figured it out. I put the puzzle pieces together.
You know what? Now that you mentioned it, I was like, that was kind of crazy too. Okay, so I'm not on my own. Yeah, that's a good point. But my bad. Sorry for. Oh, also real quick, my bad, Tom. Before you go, I'll say never mind. That was nope. Let me shut up. Go ahead, Tom. That's my bad.
All right, now that he confused me a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, D'Lo, you wear glasses. So. All right, my bad. That was the best comeback. That was the best. That was the best I had. That was the best I had on the spot. I'm not a very good improviser, so that's
traveled in the intro. You traveled in the intro.
You can see now, bro. Congrats.
He can't see clearly unless he sees.
No, we didn't even make any. Did we make any picks for this series yet?
No, we're gonna do it at the end.
Okay. That's gonna be at the end. So right now we're just talking about game 1.
But it's kind of hold on. It's hard to make a prediction when the game 1 already happened.
Yeah, it just adds to the confusion. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because it's normally hard to make one before the game, but now that we've seen one game, now it's
definitely
a little more tricky. But honestly, I thought that this shows. Actually, I spoke to it earlier. Is just like the Popovich way, the strength in numbers. They have the depth in Indiana of shooting. Now, I won't say that Cleveland doesn't have it. They didn't have it today. And so Cleveland actually usually does have it. They're one of the better shooting 3-point teams in the league, but today was Indiana's day. I think without Darius Garland, that was one of the things that we seen. He's more of the fast paced playmaker for them. Donovan Mitchell is like the killer, I guess what you would say, like the killer closer. DG's the guy that gets the ball on the break and gets their offense running, flowing a little faster. So I think him being out is what they were missing. But then they were just, the ball didn't look like it was getting stuck. Like the basketball with Donovan Mitchell and what's the other dude's name? Jerome. They shot 50 shots, right?
So yeah, it's combined. They took 50 shots.
Yeah, that's not healthy.
Yeah.
I'd imagine that Donovan knew he was gonna have to shoot a little bit more because Darius Garland was out. But yeah, 50 shots between two people is kind of nasty work. But so far through the playoffs, it's seeming like whoever's hitting more threes is winning the games.
Yeah. To that point, the the Pacers were phenomenal from three. They shot 19 of 36. That's 52% from three today. That's going to be hard to beat. And the Cavs, they shot 9 of 38. So when another team shoots like that, it's going to be hard to beat. Kyson, what'd you think of? Real quick, Spartan Otter said, "We can only hope LeBron retires." Hey, I could not agree more.
Still. But yeah, no, this is how the Pacers play. They like to run up and down the court. Y'all can hear me?
Mhm.
All right, just making sure. Um, yeah, they just like to run up and down the court. They like to put you at their mercy and just go. And Tyrese Halliburton, he don't get the credit he deserves, man. I really don't. I wouldn't say I don't like him, but his game is
It's
very
traditional.
annoying.
It's
It's very
traditional.
annoying because I'm a defensive player. So if I'm guarding Tyrese Halliburton, it's gonna be one of the worst nights of my life because those dudes that can go get you 20 and 12, man, like those are headaches because he's really diamond. He's really trying to get his teammates involved. He's not worried about his shot at all. If he got it, cool. But he's really trying to get everybody involved. And that's the worst as a defender because that means he can really score if he wants. But he'd rather not. He'd rather get Nimhard 23, give Pascal Siakam his shots, Mathurin when he comes off the bench, so on and so forth. So he had total control of this game. He had what 20 and 12, 20 and 13,
Mm-hmm.
something along
3
those lines.
blocks.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was great defensively also.
He
And
was
that's
really good
something we don't
defensively today.
usually see. We don't see that
Mhm.
from him often.
Yeah.
So I just think they took advantage of the Cavs not having DG because they really need him. The Cavs really do
Yeah.
need him. They need that facilitator, that guy that can create space, make something out of nothing. Next to Donovan Mitchell, because like y'all said, man, Donovan was like 13 or 30. Like
Yeah.
that's just
You.
that just won't get it done. So and also Evan Mobley. I mean, we rave about this dude, defensive player of the year and all, but when your DG list, we need you to step up, Mobley. Like seriously, like you are an All NBA player, All NBA, All Star, wherever the case may
Defensive player
be.
of the year.
Exactly, like you are a legit player, top 20 player. We can argue about it, but you need to step up. Like you need to um if you can't do it in this series in the offseason, get an offensive back that you can stick with because we talk about the Rockets. It's too much defense. We can defend all day. Now, when the ball in our hands, what we about to do? So I just think that the Cavs need DG. The Pacers take advantage of the Cavs not their inability of not being able to score. They took advantage of that and just ran up and down. So this would be a good series. I don't see the Pacers doing this all series. Hopefully the Cavs they can get the stops and they can hit their shots the next game, or the Pacers gonna do the same thing they did tonight in the next game.
Yeah, to that point, Kyson. So to your point about Tyrese Halliburton, he is really annoying to play because not only is he good, he's gonna look for other guys' shots. He has the perfect balance of okay, I'm gonna go look for somebody else's shot, or I'm gonna go try and find somebody a shot, I'm also going to go get a shot when I need to. So you never know what he's going to do because you have the guys who you know are going to pass it. They are not going to score. They're trying to get other people involved. And then you also have the guys who you know are not going to pass it. So, you know, no matter what, that ball is going up. A shot attempt will be put up. So Tyrese Halliburton, yeah, he's stepped up in the playoffs the past 2 years. D'Lo, what'd you see from this game, man? When what shocked you, or if anything shocked you?
What's that saying you always like to use, Maul? It ain't fun when the rabbit got the
It
gun.
ain't fun when the rabbit got the gun.
Listen, man, they played Miami and blew them out every game, and they thought they were gonna come in here and it was gonna be sweet without DG. And it ain't. Indiana is just a completely different level of competition in terms of playoff basketball. Um, they are so well put together. Um, and I think we talked about this coming in. Miles Turner bringing Jared Allen out of the paint opens up everything for them.
It absolutely does.
Um, and the same with Evan Mobley. Pascal Siakam can, sit out there too and take him away from the paint. And now the Twin Towers are not down there. They can't play that paint defense. So I know they shot the ball well today, but they still have the ability to get in there now with Pascal and Miles sitting out there. Um, so it's going to be completely different. Um, However, I will say this series is also going to be completely different when DG comes back. Um, Donovan was kind of forcing a lot. And I don't know if that's simply just because DG was gone or they weren't shooting the ball well or what was going on. But um, if I remember correctly, he was what, 9 for 30 or something like that.
Donovan Mitchell was 13 to 30 today.
Yeah, that it's just not going to cut it, especially if you're shooting 30 shots to get 33 points. Like you're not going to do it. So,
1 for 11 from 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
One for 11 from 3 today.
So I mean, I don't expect the Cavs to continue shooting this bad, considering they clipped the hell out of us in the first round. But it's gonna be interesting because Indiana is one of those teams that we talk about can really do it all. They can get out in transition. They can play defense. They have a great half court offense, and that's specifically because of Halliburton, because of the fact that he can score and get others involved. That's what he does. Um, it's going to be interesting, but I think this series really starts when DG comes back. And I was surprised when I got that notification saying that he was going to be out today, because I assume we all thought that he was going to be good and ready to go for the start of this game. So I think it's interesting to see, but yeah.
This now okay. Let me explain something. There's a few takeaways I had from the first game. A few how do I put it? Just a few outlooks I had on this game. There is a player that plays for the Pacers that is one of my favorite players in the playoffs. He reminds me of Jamal Murray because in the regular season, he's okay. You know, he kind of hangs around. But he completely elevates his game when he gets to the playoffs. That player's name is Andrew Nembhard. Every year, especially starting last year, playoffs came around and he was fantastic. He was fantastic all the way up into the conference finals. Andrew Nembhard was really, really good, and that has not changed. He was very good today. And has been good throughout the entire first round. He was very good against Milwaukee, and he just ups his play every single year, and he is just a part of that very, very deep Pacers team. The other thing I took away from this game, Darius Garland is severely underrated, and I've been saying it for years. I think Darius Garland is a top 6 or 7 point guard in the league, and that might even be being generous. I think he's severely underrated.
We're gonna need to hear your top 10 point guards, buddy.
Yeah.
You can't just make a statement like that.
Yeah, we'll have to get in there.
We'll get
Wow.
around to it. But I think he's severely underrated for what he does for the Cavaliers team. That Cavs team, now they're playing an 8 seed.
I can
So
agree.
he was gone for the 2 game. He was gone for 2 games. They didn't need him. But when you play against a team like this who gets out and runs, oh, you know who else does that? Darius Garland. You know who else can score the ball? Darius Garland. You know what the two things that they did not do today? Run and score the basketball. Darius Garland his impact on that team is severely underrated. I love Darius Garland's game. I think he plays hard. He is a bucket. I think he was severely missed today. But the Pacers they're so well put together. They play so well alongside each other. And they form each other's games. Like it's literally it's like a puzzle. It's like a puzzle. They're all pieces to a 12, 13 man puzzle, and they just fit together very, very well. It's fun to see. They get out and run. They play together. They're gonna give the Cavaliers a very, very, very good run for the money. And so, like I said, we're gonna actually pick these series up here in a minute or two. But I think today's game, the Cavs are gonna have a tough time. The Cavs are gonna have a tough time, especially now that Indiana has home court advantage. They did what they were supposed to do already in game one. They went into Cleveland and took home court advantage back, or not back, but they took it. And so what I mean by that is now for the rest of the series, as long as the Pacers win all their home games, they will win the series. That's what I mean by taking home court advantage. And they've done that. And now they have an advantage not only in the series, but I think mentally, because now they have the confidence. Oh, this team won 64 games and we went in and beat them like this. Indiana has all the confidence in the world right now, as they should. This is going to be a good series. Any final thoughts on game one of Cleveland, Indiana today?
I think that you just stated the biggest part is the confidence. Like you said, in particular, Name he's like one of those, like almost like a sixth man, seventh man for them. So now that he has confidence and trust that, oh, I can score 15, 20 on these dudes. Garland has to still come into this series and build confidence. Indiana has confidence, and so
Yeah.
I think this next game is a must win for Cleveland. If they lose this game, the series is damn near over.
Yeah, and Perfect Jelly says good riddance. Maybe that's to Houston. Oh no, that's to the Lakers. I see this profile picture. So again, I could not agree more. I honestly I hate the Lakers. I'm so glad they're gone. Oh my god. They're not allowed. They're not allowed in the Cancun club. I just want to put that out there.
I'm not even gonna say. I'm not even gonna say.
Emphasize.
I wanted to say
Emphasize.
something real quick before we move on, though. Because I just looked something up while we were all talking. Sengun only shoots 23% from the three. That is huge for y'all. I mean, as a whole team, Kyson, y'all, like, it's evident y'all need to focus on shooting, but having the conversation about Sengun being baby Joker and you shooting 23% from three, that you've eliminated yourself from the conversation. There's a like that what Joker does from behind the three allows for him to sit at the free throw line and do this and dish, because now people have to come out and respect that. I'm like, oh, this is the reason why Jalen Green can't attack the basket as often as he would like, because there's often a big that's in there.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I just think that it starts with the mid range first. I think he needs to develop a mid range before he gets to three, because even the mid range will have people uptight on him at the top of the key, but not necessarily above the 3 point line. Maybe a little in the free throw line area. Have him inside the line and doing that, the dishing and whatnot. I think that I think he takes a huge leap this year because he just got a jolt of confidence from this playoff series he just had. So yeah, I agree with you on that part. I think it starts with the mid range at first, because you seen a few of those fadeaways, those one-legged fadeaways that were barely touching the rim, barely grazing the rim. I think once he gets that part of his bag first, the 3 pointer it'll come along. for sure.
All right. That is our reactions to the games today and the series of the first round. Real quick, I do want to name a winner for the first round predictions. So I'll go by series by series. OKC and Memphis. I won. I said OKC and 4, and that's exactly what they did. Cleveland and Miami. Tone, Kyson, and Kevin all tied for that series. Tone said Cleveland in 5. Kevin said Cleveland in 5, and Kyson also said Cleveland in 5. Denver and the Clippers. Tone and Kyson tied for it. Tone had Denver in 7, and Kyson also had Denver in 7. Those are perfect predictions. Golden State and Houston. Me and Kevin tied, and so I had Golden State in 6, as well as Kevin had Golden State in 6. Indiana and Milwaukee. Kyson had it dead on. He chose Indiana in 5. New York and Detroit. Tone and Kyson tied. Tone had New York in 6, and Kyson also had New York in 6. Again, perfect predictions. Boston and Orlando. Tone had Boston in 5. Perfect prediction. And Lakers and Minnesota. David Largo had Minnesota in 6 because, well, he was also the only person to pick Minnesota to win the series, period. So after all that, tallying it up, the winner, apostrophe S, of the first round are Tony and Kyson. As much as that hurts me to say. So, yeah. All right. So,
Hey, I'm gonna say for next round, I think we're gonna have to give a 1.5 for perfect predictions. Yeah, 1 point for closest to, and a 1.5 for closest predict, like spot on.
I like it. You know what? That's what we'll do. Except we'll just go to. It's a lot of math, Tony. Why don't we just go give him an extra point?
Yeah, 2 point. Just make it.
Yeah. You want to do math?
I'm good at it, so
yeah,
I don't mind.
Yeah, just because I'm good at it doesn't mean I want to do it. Anyways, let's get to predicting the second round. I put aside 25 minutes for this segment, and so this is the last segment of tonight's show. So, and I'm going to make a good one. So there are only 4 series, of course, in the second round of the playoffs, and then there will be 2, and then of course there will be 1. Let's start with the one that we were just talking about: Cleveland and Indiana. D'Lo, who do you have in this series, and in how many games?
This is tough, not just because game 1 happened, but because we don't know when Darius Garland is going to be back.
Sorry, let me real quick, not to cut you off. I forget who the sideline. I apologize. I forget who the sideline reporter was today. No, it wasn't Chris Haynes. I forget who it was. The sideline reporter did talk to Darius Garland. Darius Garland did say he will most likely be back in game 2.
Man just says not to cut you off and then still cut me off anyway. It's fine. Whatever.
My thing is,
Um,
hold on, pause. My thing is
no,
I'm sorry, D'Lo.
you
It's just
good.
like, what was the point of sitting out? That's the only question I really
He
have,
must really
honestly.
be hurt. That's what
I think pain tolerance.
Yeah,
Pain tolerance.
when the same thing happened, when I looked at the NBA and I said, "Oh, DG's out," I
Mhm.
said, "Oh, he must really be hurt."
Like he might not be able to move.
And so that I read that as also he's going to be hindered for game 2 and the rest of the
Exactly.
series.
You
So
go
they're going
force him
to
in.
attack him.
Yeah, got to.
Sorry,
All
D'Lo.
right, David Largo.
Sorry.
Nah, you good.
I'm not sorry. I want to emphasize. I don't apologize, not even a little bit.
What?
My point of the show was to cut you off.
Mm.
You
Real rap.
done? You done? Or
Sorry, I'm done now. Yes.
all right.
My bad. Real quick, not to cut. No. Okay, okay. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Okay, I promise I'm done.
Man, I'll go last. Y'all got it.
Okay, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Kind of like I said in the first round with that Clippers Nuggets series, I think this will be the best series of the second round. I think this series goes 7 games. Um, it's tough because if that report is true and DG is not moving that great, It's gonna get shaky, and if that is the case, I could see Indiana closing it out early. But I also don't expect Cleveland to shoot as bad as they did today as a team. Um, I like Cleveland in seven. I think if it goes to seven, they'll win at home. Um, and they'll advance. And if you are Cleveland, I would hope that you would close it out sooner because any rest that you can get, not just for DG, but in general, because you're going to face a juggernaut come conference finals time. They're going to need all the rest that they can get. So I have the series going to seven, and I have Cleveland in seven.
Kyson, who you feeling? And in how many games?
Yeah, this is a real tough one. This series can go a bunch of ways, man. But honestly, I'm in a rock and a hard place. I can definitely see Indiana winning the series easily. Um, because that's just what they do, man. Like Indiana, they don't play. Like, especially if they figured you out early, man, they just go, 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 go. And they did it with the Knicks last year. Just did it with um the Bucks again. And they did it tonight against the Cavaliers. They played their game. I knew they were gonna win the game when I seen halftime. They had 64 points. I mean, that's a lot
Yeah,
of points for 2 quarters.
that's
You
impressive.
know, so I just don't. Now, granted, on the other side, y'all saying Cleveland won't shoot this bad. Does Indiana shoot this good again? Can they keep this offensive firepower up? If they can, I gotta go Indiana. I'm gonna pick them in six, but I'm gonna do the D'Lo rule. If they go to seven, I'm gonna pick Cleveland. But I got Indy in six. You can lock that answer in. Just cause Indy is like they're just one of those teams like the Timberwolves. They're the Timberwolves of the East. That's the perfect. They play differently. They play differently, but
That's
they
interesting.
just turn up in the playoffs. Like they get in the playoffs and
Yep.
they get the right matchups and they take advantage of them. Same with the Timberwolves. So I think they can take advantage of Darius Garland being hobbled. Um, they can at the end of the day, Cleveland, they're not going to get much offense outside of Donovan Mitchell. I mean, that's just without DG. So DG, he's the only benefit you have in DG playing the next game and in the series is the fact you can give Ty Jerome rest because Ty Jerome has a very predictable game, which is hence to why he's a six man. You know, when he comes in, he does his thing. But to have that all game and him shooting 20 shots, you don't want that. So, with all that being said, I got Indiana in six, but I do believe Cleveland can pull it out in seven if it does go to seven.
Tony, who you got in the series and in how many games?
I'm gonna say preface my decision with I think Maul is going last because he's studying our picks first.
There
Just
you
wanted to
go.
say that.
There you go. Hey, in the first round picks, I also went last, and I only won
Didn't
two
win.
of the series.
Okay, all right.
You
So
don't
keep
you
it
don't
going.
have to worry about
Okay.
Jamal is way too hard headed to copy any of our picks.
Oh, would you like to talk about how many series you won that you were the most accurate in? Oh, one, brother. One.
Mm.
All right, but back to the facts. It's gonna sound a little nasty because I'm picking the same thing my guy Kyson just picked, and for reasons that he just stated. I actually was looking that up, and the Pacers shot close to 40% on the regular season. Knowing that, they're likely going to be able to beat Cleveland's defense. And with Darius Garland being, I'd assume he's got to be 90%. I just, I, I don't have the confidence that I once had in Cleveland, which is I don't like it because I wanted to face them in the conference finals so that we could get rid of all of the foo-foo talk from last year. But yeah, I'm not confident in Cleveland right now. So I also have Indiana in 6. Um, yeah, this is good. I don't think this is gonna be the best series though. Even if it goes 7, I still
My
don't think.
bad. Hey, Kevin, no hard feelings, bro.
Oh. After actually, I hate, because you guys, you copy that.
Should have went first, bro.
I should have went first, but I'm polite. You know what I'm saying? I'm a polite host, so I let the guests go first. You know what I'm saying? I treat people with the utmost respect. David Largo.
You've
No, hold
been
on,
rude
Jamal.
all day.
Jamal, before you go, how much did this game? How much did game one have on your opinion?
Honestly, a little bit. It swayed a little. Before the game, I wouldn't have the answer I'm about to say. I wouldn't. But the way that they played today, it swayed me because the way that the Pacers dominated this game, I'm going to say dominated. Now, they didn't win by 30. They didn't win by 20, but they dominated. They led from start to finish.
They controlled the pace.
The entire game. They controlled the pace. And so that's what worries me about the most about the Cavs. And because of that, I am also again, see, should I go first next time? I'm
Yeah,
going,
this next
I'm going
series you going first.
the pace. Yeah, I'm going the Pacers in 6. That's what I had. And you Carson, you're like Tony. Shut up. Not you guys, but
Man, just
Hey,
reverse the order. So you go
we
first, and then
we
I'll go
won the
last
first
next
round, so it only
series.
makes sense
Go.
that you copy us.
Okay. Well, let's when are we talking baseball?
But I just think that I agree with you, Jamal. This game did sway my decision a lot. Like I had Cleveland in
Yeah.
6-5 type shit. Like I thought Cleveland was gonna come ready. Like, I thought they were gonna do like the Indiana how they did Miami. Close, not exactly how, but like some similar. Like play D, get on the fast break, score, like just have you not have your way, but just be comfortable. And they weren't comfortable at all today. And Indiana just played like it's just one thing to see a team play their game and make the other team play the exact same way they play. Like when you see a team literally dictate another team's pace, that's a scary sight.
The
Yeah,
team
it
is
is.
full with underrated players. When you look at Naismith, you look at Siakam, you look at Miles Turner, you look at Halliburton. Their team is full with underrated players.
Yeah, it is. And they just again they play really, really well together. I think that's the biggest thing to me. All right, let's move on. Next series. Let's move on to the other series in the East Coast. Whether somebody in this group, somebody in this stream supports them, and I'm not going to say who. I just wouldn't want to call them out like that. But the New York Knicks, the New York Knickerbockers, and the Boston Celtics are going to be playing in a series in the second round. For this, the Celtics fan I will not name will go last, and I will go first. Listen, as you know, you guys know how much I love Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges. Those are two of my top 5 players in the league, and are two of my top 5 favorite players in the league. No. 2 of my top 5 favorite players in the league. Don't look at me like that, Unc. It scared me. Anyways, as much as I would like to say that the Knicks are gonna go to Boston and run and make shots and play defense, I can't say that accurately. I just can't. And for that
I
reason,
want to let y'all know that Drew Holiday is playing game 1. He's back.
Yeah,
Put that out there.
somebody kick him in his knees or something. There's something always wrong with that guy. Something Patrick Beverly, just dive at his knees. But no, I'm gonna go with the Celtics in. I'm gonna say 7. I think Jalen Brunson is gonna average over 30 in this series. I think he's gonna be really, really good in this series, and I think he's gonna give the Celtics everything that they can take. As long as alongside with damn it, I try to keep a straight face, but I hate you. I hate you, Tone. I try to keep a straight face, as well as Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby. So I think they're gonna play really well. And so I think they're gonna take the Celtics to the wire, and I think the Boston Celtics are gonna win in 7. David Largo, who do you have in this series, and in how many games?
I got Boston in 6. Um, just based on how Jason Tatum played in the first round, um, you could argue that he was one of the best players of the first round.
Absolutely.
Um,
You said
he was
Boston in 6, right?
incredible. Yeah, Boston is 6.
Mhm.
He was incredible, and I don't see him slowing down against New York, especially with the paint presence. Um, I feel like he's going to have his way, and he's going to get in the paint whenever he wants, and Cat is going to do nothing about it. So yeah, I like Boston. I like the shooting. I like just everything overall. I think they do everything better than New York.
Kyson, New York, and Boston. Who do you have, and in how many games?
Real quick, like it's just crazy to see Boston at where they're at, like just dominant and like just always just find themselves in the playoffs and second, third, fourth, finals, whatever the case may be. And like ever since like 2015, literally, like ever since uh the IT days, they were always making it to the conference finals. And so to now see them, you know, JT in year 8, year 7, Jalen Brown in year 8, um, see those guys be in these playoff moments, they they kind of treat these games like the regular season. Um, that's what they did with Orlando. I expect the same thing with Boston. I mean, with New York. So with that being said, I got Boston in 6. Just I think they're going to give New York 2 games. They're going to give them 1 game, and then New York's going to take a game. Um, and they're just dominant, man. And Drew's coming back.
They
They're
are.
going to have a primary defender on Brunson. They're going to give him. First of all, Brunson's going to see 2 people, not 1, 2. Derek White and Drew Holiday. They come together. They're a package deal. He's going to get the
Pause.
Kyrie.
Mm, mm, mm.
They
If you
come. They
said
come together, man. About to get the Kyrie. He about to get the Kyrie special. Literally, he about to get like he's about to get blitzed a lot. So you're gonna have to
Yeah.
rely
yeah,
on
messy.
Mikhail, Cat, and OG. And yeah, the Knicks gonna have to play their lights out. I don't see the Boston Celtics doing that. I don't see them getting out of character, getting out of their bag to beat this team. They're gonna do exactly what they do. It's gonna work, and they're gonna be in the conference finals. Celtics in 6.
All right, Tone. Who do you have? Who do you have?
We know who he has. It's just in how much.
The better
Mm.
question we should ask him is, what are you expecting out the Knicks?
Um, if I'm being just 100%, 1,000% honest, Kyson again is speaking the gospel. But since I'm going to just go fully biased and go with Gang Green, I got season 5. I believe that that game that the Knicks are going to try to steal, we're going to win. But I do think that there will be a game where we will play down to our competition and just won't attack the way we usually do in the fourth quarter, and we'll give the game away. Yeah, I believe we're going to pick on Cat. And I think that by game, honestly, 3, they'll be tired. And I don't know what the series will be. Hopefully 2-1, if not 3-0 in our favor. And the remaining games will be kind of a breeze. But I believe in JT. I believe that this series is going to be Derek White's series to defend, and I believe that he's just a little more confident than he was last playoff, and he's going to do exactly what I've been saying this entire season is prove that he is one of the best point guards in the league.
Who?
Derek
Ooh,
White.
Maybe maybe in his division.
No, hey, everyone feels how they feel. I will say I've been saying this since I joined this pod. Is I appreciate players who play on both sides of the basketball. I don't just value a player who averages 30 points and doesn't play adequate defense versus a player who averages 15 to 18 points and gets a lot of stops. I value the two-way player more. I'm going to develop a team structure to win basketball. I don't want just a 30-point guy. I want players who are going to motivate other people on both sides of the basketball. And that's what Derek White does. That's why we have a great dynamic in Boston. We don't just need one player. We need the team.
Oh, maybe that's what age does to you. All right, fellas. Well, we have.
He's so disrespectful.
I
they're
don't know
gonna
what to
line
talk
it up.
about. I don't know. All right, fellas. We have 5 minutes, so these last two picks might have to go a little quickly. But next, and I think, I think this is going to be. I don't know. I don't think it's the best series of the second round, but it's going to be good. Oklahoma City and Denver. David Largo, who do you have winning this series and in how many games?
Oklahoma and five.
Wow. Okay. That's it?
Yeah, I mean, you said we got to make it quick.
That is
I,
true.
I
That's my
would
bad.
elaborate, but you said quick, so
That is true. All right, my bad. All right, who's next? Tony, Oklahoma City or Denver?
OKC in 5. Denver doesn't have enough.
Kyson?
OKC in 5 or 6. 5, 6, 5, 6. 6. Oklahoma at 6.
This is tough. See, this is tough, man. I think it's going to be a better series than what people are getting. I mean, Denver has the best player in the world. Oh, the Nuggets have the best player in the world.
Jamal Murray's been playing great basketball.
Been playing really good, but Michael Porter Jr. can't throw it in the ocean from a boat.
Man, the Nuggets got 6 players legit.
hey, we talking about Jamal
Rusty.
Murray. Aaron Gordon has been playing
Aaron
good
Gordon has been playing
basketball.
some really good
Rusty
basketball.
too.
Russ has been playing some good basketball. So,
And I don't think Chet can do anything with Jokic.
They said this would be the perfect series for Rusty to go out and win.
You know what?
So his old team that,
Give me Denver in 7.
yeah, we
Thunder-
convinced him. We got him.
Give me Denver in
We
7.
got
Oh,
him.
God, we got him. Because, look, the Thunder, this is exactly what the Thunder about to do. They're about to let Jokic score 50, 60, 70, 80,
Mhm.
and still lose. Literally. It's going to Jokic, go ahead, get 100. Go ahead, break the record.
You're
still
not
gonna
gonna be able to
lose.
do that. They got enough bodies to throw at them. They're gonna just be Halliburton, Chet. They're gonna keep it rotating, and then J Dub. They're just gonna keep it rotating.
Arnstein? Yeah.
Give me Denver in 7. I have all the confidence in the world in Nikola Jokic. He, I believe, is the best player in the league by far. And I think he's gonna show. I think he's gonna show. He's gonna flex his muscles. And I think that's Denver. Now it might sound crazy, and also I don't know why I just want Oklahoma City to lose. I want them.
They're not competing with the depth.
That's what I don't trust either. Is Denver's depth, but I would love to see it. I think it would be dope if Jokic could do this. It would be dope. It'd be dope.
That's the amount of confidence I have in Jokic. I think he's the best player and one of the best centers of all league.
And that's the confidence I had in Luka in the first series, and I kicked myself in the fucking. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
See, there you go. See, there you go, slipping up.
They go do exactly what the Timberwolves did. Let them score.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. All right, the last series, and the series I think will be the best. It's the first ever time, I believe, in the Western Conference that a 6 will be facing a 7 seed in the second round. So you know what? Minnesota and Golden State. Kyson, who you got? How many games? I saw
Wolves in 4.
Wolves in 4.
Woo. Sorry, Wolves in 5.
That's gangster.
Did Steph?
Let's just get something clear real quick, right? The
Somebody, I think
Warriors are not a good team. They just had the perfect matchup. Any other team in the playoffs, they lose. They had the best matchup they can ever ask for. And that's me being a basketball. That's not me being a Houston fan. That's me being a basketball fan. Any other team, it would have been a problem for them. They just happen to go against the one team that can't score at all. If Houston has average shooting percentages, we win that series easily. We didn't win off shooting. We won off hustle. The games we did win, we won off hustle and just won it. We did not win any game besides game 5 off shooting, right?
You know who else is a mediocre 3-point shooting team, though, right?
The Timberwolves, but the Timberwolves have Anthony Edwards, who's 23, not 36, not 37.
Yeah, but who was defending him in that first series?
Who's going to be defending him this series? Jimmy? You're relying on Jimmy Butler to guard him.
Versus anyone of name somebody who played him that's going to play him as good as Jimmy Butler in the first series. Name me one player.
I'm with you when you're right. No, I'm not finna give the Lakers any compliments. That's for sure. But with all that being said,
I like a lot of what you're stating because I'm running down your checklist and then I go, well, there's a couple situations though,
and that's why I'm giving them one game because the Warriors are going to take advantage. Is that what you're saying? They're going to do it, but then the Timberwolves. One thing about the Timberwolves, man, they are annoying. Like they
are.
They are what I want the Rockets to be. They don't stop. Like they can be down 20. They're gonna still come. Telling you. So I just believe that they're gonna be the team to really bring punch Golden State in the chest. And yeah. In this dynasty, in this Steph Curry ish, man. Because it ain't going nowhere. Trust me. It ain't going nowhere.
I'm looking at the old senile old man, and his face is just.
They ain't.
Although
Trust me,
that was you know
y'all need to get your heads out together and listen to what I'm saying, man. Because I don't want to hear when the Wolves is up 3-0 in the series. I don't want to hear it.
The Wolves ain't gonna beat up no 3-0. I'll tell you that much right now. They ain't gonna beat up no 3-0. Now again, we'll get to my prediction here in a second, but
go next.
You want me to go? All right, bet. See, now you got me teed up. We're already late, but I'll keep it quick.
I don't care who wins this series. I don't. I really don't care who wins this series, bro. I don't. Honestly, don't. Bro. So you can get teed up all you want, bro. I don't care who. I don't care who wins the series, bro. Really don't. I don't care who wins the finals.
Huh?
I don't care who wins the finals. I really don't. So you can get teed up all you want. At the end of the day, the Wolves about to all in their mouth, bro. Watch.
Is there a little hatred for the Warriors?
Bro. Watch. Y'all about to see something, bro. All right.
What a mercy.
All right, I'll tell you what. Minnesota is going to win this series. I absolutely believe that. Minnesota's going to win this series. But if you don't think Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler are going to take at least 2 games, I think you're out of your mind. Because
how many games did they take this series? They won Buddy Hield won tonight. Game 1, who won that game for them? Jimmy.
Well, yeah, that's the
Jimmy
difference.
and Steph. I was thinking Jimmy and Steph.
Minnesota can put the ball in the basket. Houston couldn't do that. So all you had to do was score 100 points and you win the game.
Podziemski won them game 2.
All you had to do, all the Warriors had to do, guys, and all the Warriors had to do was score 100 points and they was winning.
Exactly. So my point I'm making, they're going to score 110, 115 points for 7 games, 6 games. That's what you're telling me.
Mm-hmm.
No. Let's move on. Like,
I'll tell you. Minnesota's going to win in 6. The only reason why I think Minnesota is going to now Golden State, they just went through a 7-game series with another physical team that's good that weared them down. I think Minnesota's going to do the same thing, except like I said, Minnesota can put the ball in the basket at a higher rate and a more efficient rate. Minnesota's going to win the series in 6 because I believe 37-year-old Steph Curry and 35-year-old Jimmy Butler are not going to be able to keep up for an entire series with a young, fast-moving, fast-paced team like the Timberwolves. So I'm taking Minnesota in 6. Tone, who you got? Minnesota, Golden State.
I feel like I'm peeling my fingernails off my fingers, agreeing with Jamal. But goodness gracious.
Look at that.
But no, I do agree that Steph has enough. I think that each one of them, Jimmy is going to pull out a game, and Steph is going to pull out a game. But I do think that the Timberwolves will prevail. I think AE and the rest of that team. I think right now Julius Randle's actually making a name for himself. He's
Yeah.
been fairly consistent, but he's just been playing well on and off of the basketball. He's usually the one who the basketball gets stuck in his hands and the offense looks stagnant. He's actually been moving the basketball and they've been playing pretty well. I do think it'll be interesting to see how Rudy Gobert guards on the perimeter against Pods and against Steph. But I agree. I do have the Wolves in 6.
What a great guy. Tony, I love you, man. I want to let you know that.
He only says those type of things to us low when we agree. It's a shame.
Hey, I'm with you. What does Kyson say? I'm with you when you're right.
My thing is, with y'all saying a team that couldn't put the ball in the basket, quote unquote, they just took a team that couldn't go put the ball in the basket to 7 games for no reason at all. It was only 2 games, like 3 of the games that were convincing for real.
But there's no way they don't win at least 2 games.
How?
All right. As much as I'd like to elaborate that, and we will, as the series goes on. David Largo, Timberwolves, Warriors. Who you got and how many games?
I have the Wolves. I'm trying to decide in how many games.
Then now, mind you, I do want to remind everybody this is a Steph Curry stan, a fanboy. So, did want to put that out there.
Oh,
my bad. I interrupted again. Go ahead, David Largo.
This man just be talking.
That is my job.
Listen, man, I think I might roll with Kyson. I think I got the Wolves in 5.
Wow.
Yeah, I just based on how well they played in that Lakers series, especially closing games, I like where they're at. Again, what Tone said, I think watching Gobert on the perimeter with Steph and Pods and Buddy Hield out there, and they can get threes up in a hurry. But I like the pieces that Minnesota has defensively. I like DiVincenzo. I like McDaniels. Julius Randle played some good defense last series. So I think defensively, they've picked it up in the playoffs like we expected them to. Um, I guess the thing is can Ant keep it going? We saw in the second round last year he kept it going and then he fell flat. And Jamal was his biggest hater last year because of it. So that's the question: can he keep it going? Can his legs stay fresh? But yeah, I think after a 7-game series, the Warriors are going to be burnt out a little bit. I still don't know where Jimmy is at because obviously he had a 1-game absence, but that fall looked pretty nasty. So is he still rocking 100% or is he, closer to 80? We don't really know, but he's going to play through it. But yeah, I like Minnesota. I like Minnesota in 5.
Yeah, I think as long as Anthony Edwards is consistent and he's consistently good, I think Minnesota's going to win this series. All right, now to recap the second round series and picks. Real quick, Minnesota, Golden State. I have Minnesota in 6. Tone has Minnesota in 6. D'Lo has Minnesota in 5, and Kyson has Minnesota in 5. Oklahoma City and Denver. I had Denver in 7. Tone has Oklahoma City in 5. D'Lo has Oklahoma City in 5, and Kyson has Oklahoma City in 6. New York Knicks and Boston Celtics. Okay, I don't know why I said it like that. The Celtics and Knicks. I have Boston in 7. Tone has Boston in 5. D'Lo has Boston in 6, and Kyson also has Boston in 6. And lastly, the Cavs and the Pacers. I have Indiana in 6. Tone has Indiana in 6. D'Lo has Cavs in 7. and Kyson has the Pacers in 6. That is going to close out tonight's show. Thank you all for thank you to everybody who tuned in. Thank you for everybody who left a comment.
One last thing, I'm going out on a limb. If the Warriors can take it to 7, I got the Warriors.
He pulling a me. I like it.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So that is the show for tonight. Thank you everybody who watched and tuned in and we had some comments today, so that was cool. And as always, I rag on them and I bag on them, and but these three here, they a lot of the times don't have the best takes on everything, but I still do that. That doesn't take away my love for them. So do want to throw that out there. Anyways, all right. Well, I'll just stay quiet. That was cool. No,
you see how we good at not interrupting you? We was letting you talk. Ain't that nice?
Good boy. Okay, my bad. All right.
I'm gonna pull Jamal. Y'all not gonna see me for a week.
Okay. All right. Shout out to Kyson. Kyson, he's on with us every Sunday night. Talking playoff basketball, and we'll be talking more football as it comes closer with the draft and things like that.
Can we talk real quick? I know we have to get out of here. I know we have to get out of here. Aiden Hutchinson,
his recovery and how fast he's been able to recover is insane.
Did we talk about how everyone is slandering him, saying he don't got the same step? Y'all seen that?
Oh, I didn't even see that.
I see that.
Yeah, they've been slandering him. They say he don't look the same.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild.
We might have to touch on that next episode.
I'm definitely with it. Definitely with it. But for Kyson, appreciate you every Sunday. Like I said, he joins us every Sunday tonight to talk playoff basketball and football in the future. David Largo, of course, I appreciate you, brother. He's been on with us for as long as I can remember. And of course, Unc, OG, my dog, Beanstown legend, Tone, in the building. And for yours truly, I don't really have too much that I have going on, so I'm just gonna call myself Gumball. And for that, it's gonna close out the show. As always, if nobody else is going to tell you, I love you. You matter. I'm proud of you. Keep going. Keep pushing every day that you wake up. Not everybody.
Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Not and subscribe. Thank you for everybody for watching. Oh, wait. Hold on. I wasn't done with the outro. What was that? Oh, okay. I'll start over. As always, I love you. I'm proud of you. Keep going. Every day we wake up is a blessing. A lot of people don't get to wake up. So every day you wake up, don't take it for granted. Always remember, it is nice to be important, but it's much, much more important to be nice. We will be back sometime this week. Look out on the socials. Actually, Kyson, do you want to shout out your? I don't think I've always forgotten. Do you want to shout out your socials, things like that?
Yeah, y'all can follow me on Instagram at Magnificent MAKKNIFISENT. Replay it back if y'all don't get it. I'm on Twitter at Killer_Kais. Just go on there. You can see my clothing brand. You can see everything I got going.
Where is it at? I know it's in here somewhere. Hold on. I gotta grab it.
Yeah, get the gear right. You know what I'm saying?
Where's it at? Oh, I just wore it the other day.
Oh, it's dirty.
I'll wear it on the next episode, but
I think I got it.
It's under his pillow.
I really just had a hat.
See, there you go.
Under his pillow, like the Tooth Fairy.
See there you go, you senile man. Thank you for watching. We'll see you this week. I love each and every one of y'all. And Rockets, welcome to Cancun.